Hey Simmers, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to break down the brand new Sims 4 update that dropped yesterday, August 19th, 2025. We'll go through all the new features, what actually means for the gameplay, and then we'll talk about the bugs, because yes, there are plenty of them, and we'll share a few tips to help you avoid losing your mind when things break. So let's get started. So first up, Create a Sim has a nice little update. The update added more detailed skin options like wrinkles, freckles, stretch marks, age spots, and even eye bags. It might sound small, but adds a lot of realism, and if you play with families across multiple generations, your Sims can now actually look like they're ancient instead of staying flawless forever. Another big addition is the new pack selection system, because this update, if you wanted to play without some packs, you had to actually uninstall them, but now you can start a new save. You can pick and choose which packs you want to be active, which means you can have one save that has just base game and another that uses all your expansion packs without the hassle of constantly uninstalling and reinstalling. Just to note that it only works on new saves, not ones you've already started. I've also seen a video on YouTube that lilsimsie has had a lot of issues. For players on PC with Intel graphics, there's a behind the scenes upgrade. The game now runs on DirectX 11 by default, which means plain English, it's with performance basically. Fewer graphical glitches like flickering shadows and just more stable experience overall. And speaking of performance, this update brought some general improvements too. Expect less crashing, faster loading times, and more stable game overall. At least that's the goal. And if you have an old PC like me with lots of mods and PC, then I don't think there's a difference. But anyway. And if you own the Enchanted by Nature pack, you'll notice a new option in the settings. You can now toggle on whether the illness spreads between the Sims, and if you want to avoid an in-game pandemic, you can finally turn that on and off when you want. And lastly, the patch is also prepped for the new kits, Grange Mudroom and Essential Glam. They're not out yet, but once they drop, the game is ready for them. Alright, now let's talk the part what comes up with the Sims updates all the time. The bugs. The biggest one to pop up was the pregnancy glitch. Almost every Sim in the game, no matter who they were, male Sims, elders, vampires, or even the Grim Reaper, suddenly got flagged as pregnant. And it didn't always show in the gameplay, but it broke a ton of interactions. Vampires couldn't feed, Sims couldn't try for babies, pregnancy tests didn't work, and EA has already confirmed that this was tied to a performance tweak, and they're working to fix it. Players are also seeing a lot of script call failed errors, especially with items in the build and buy mode, like whiteboards. The weird thing is that this bug shows up even if you don't have mods installed, so it isn't just a mod conflict. Cleaning is also broken in a few cases. People have reported that dishes, laundry, and other objects can't be dragged into sinks or trashes, and it doesn't sound huge but makes the game a lot more frustrating when basic household chores just don't work. In build and live mode, there are also nastier glitches. Objects have been disappearing during social events, like the birthday cakes have just vanished in mid-party, and some players say that entering build mode makes everything go blank, but sometimes you can't even switch back into live mode once you've gone into build mode. One of the strangest bugs is when the entire worlds suddenly go dark. The Sims panel is still visible, but you can't click or interact with anything. Create Sim isn't safe either. Some players are finding that cast just freezes, they can't switch between Sims and in the household, or certain panels like needs and traits won't open at all. There are also a few problems with the loading into the households. For some players, instead of entering the lot, the game just sends them back to the world screen. This one seems to be linked mostly with mods, but not always. And if you're playing on console, especially PS5, there are reports of a really long loading times after this update, which makes it a lot worse. Sounds great. This sounds great. Also, I'd like to add this in as halfway through editing, I started to play my Sims game and I am also stuck being able to get onto any game as I load straight back into the world when I click on the family option. I am going to see if I can do either of these after I've edited this video and see how it goes, and I'll put on my YouTube post how or if it worked. If not, I'm not going to be able to play The Sims until EA have found an update patch for any of this. In Little Simsie's new video, she mentions that doing a full reinstall of The Sims 4 doesn't fix any of the update issues. Instead, what works for her was deleting the user settings file in the Sims 4 folder that you can see on the screen now, and then running the repair game option through the EA app. After that, her packs reappeared and started working correctly. Hopefully, mine do as well, as I am having a meltdown right now, as I cannot play The Sims at all until they've patched this, if none of these work. So what can you actually do to make the game playable until EA sorts things out? First, you can always back up your saves before patching. That way, if something goes really wrong, you don't lose all your progress. Second, go to the Sims folder and delete a file called localthumbcache.package. It clears out an old cached data that can conflict with the new update. If you use mods and custom content, move them out of your mods folder before you update and add them back in small batches. This is called the 50-50 method, which works best to figure out specific mods breaking your game. If you're still running into errors, try using the repair game option on the EA app or Origin. It can solve some corrupted file issues. And finally, keep an eye out for hot fixes. EA usually pushes them out quite quickly when there's major bugs like the pregnancy glitch showing up. So that's August 2025 update for The Sims 4. On the positive side, we've got better realism in casts and a more flexible way to manage packs, performance improvements under the hood. And on the negative side, we have way more serious glitches that are now affecting a lot of players. Hopefully EA will sort this out as soon as possible. So let me know in the comments if you've run into any of these issues, whether this update's made your game run better or worse. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more sim content and update breakdowns. And thanks for watching. Till next time, happy simming. Bye bye.